Hey, my name's Tom, and about half a year ago, I quit my job back home in Germany. I left everything I had behind to go on a 5-month adventure across 7 countries, and this is my story. In the last episode, I continued my journey through the South Island of New Zealand. I took in the insane play of colours of Lake Tekapo and Lake Pukaki before heading off to Mount Cook, where I accomplished the so far toughest hike during my days in New Zealand. Underprepared and with less than ideal weather conditions, I wrestled myself up the Wanaka Tree. Absolutely exhausted after this 5-hour hike, I got back into my car to drive about 1 hour to my next destination.
So I just parked up here at the car park of the Omarama Clay Cliffs. I saw this like weeks ago back in Germany in some YouTube travel video that there were these clay cliffs, and I know that I've driven past the road last time I was in New Zealand, but I didn't know that there was the clay cliffs. And this time I was just like, okay, I really want to see them. So these clay cliffs, they were formed by the Ururi River?
Excuse me, what?
Or something, Ururi River, that flows just by about 18,000 years ago or so, and they look impressive. It's just that I'm so tired and I just want to get onto Wanaka. I just want to have some food and want to just, lay down coming off from the Wanaka Tree, which didn't take too long. It only took me 5 hours or so, which is not that long, but it's just a very, very, very steep and tough track. So I'm just tired and yeah, just wanna get onto Wanaka. Wanna get some proper decent food. No muesli bars, no shitty noodles or so, just like some proper good food. Or maybe I'll dine out even though it's very expensive. Wanaka, here I come.
After leaving the Omarama Clay Cliffs and driving along the insanely beautiful Lindis Pass, something that I remembered all too well from my first NZ trip happened once again. Being absolutely overstimulated by the beauty and all those incredible sights, I reached a point where I wasn't even able to appreciate it anymore. Once I arrived at the campground, I didn't do much but cook myself some dinner and having a very early night.
First morning in Wanaka. This morning was a bit of a slow one, and now I'm at Royce Peak, which by now they could easily rename the Instagram peak or whatever, because this walk up to the peak is like one of the most famous photo locations in New Zealand. Everyone's taking their photos there, and of course I'm gonna do as well. My legs are still super sore from yesterday's Mule Hut walk, but at least on this walk today I will not encounter any snow. It's not going to be super cold, but very sunny instead. So let's see how it turns out, how many people are actually up Royce Peak, because looking at the car park it's already like crazy busy. Yeah, but I'm still super excited to go up there and do my Instagram photo, of course. So see you later. Getting up here is a lot more brutal than I thought. It's not because it's as steep as it was yesterday at Mule Hut, and there's not too many stairs, but it's just endless, like the whole way. It's actually 16 kilometers, so 8 km each, and I might have given my legs a break for a day or two probably, but now I'm on it, so let's go hunt for that peak. So this is the dilemma I'm facing quite often now. So you can either go the long way around, which just like meanders up the mountain, but then also if you want to be faster you can take these shortcuts which are a lot steeper, and my legs say go the long way, that is not that bad, But my brain says, hey, it's a challenge, you want to be up there as fast as you can. And so my brain always wins the decision and I go these shortcuts, but it's so tiring. Yeah, probably I should listen to my legs on the next one. But yeah, there's still so much to get up the top and I just want to do it as fast as I can because life's a challenge, isn't it?
After about 2 hours, the time had finally come. Judging by the crowds, I must have arrived at the famous Royce Peak photo spot. And of course, I couldn't resist joining the queue of people who seemed to be carefully curating their next Instagram or Tinder photo. After a short lunch break, I continued up the mountain. Interestingly, many people didn't even seem to be trying to reach Royce Peak, as the flow of hikers dwindled significantly after the photo spot. The few who actually reached the top were able to enjoy the incredible views of the Otago mountains. And so did I. Absolutely shattered from the last 2 days, I took in the insane scenery as much as possible, knowing that tomorrow definitely had to be a resting day. The following day started quietly with a little walk through the cute little town of Wanaka. Of course, I couldn't miss Wanaka Tree, a single tree that stands in the water on the Wanaka beach and for some reason has become an Instagram celebrity. After that, the day got a bit stressful when I lost my car keys. Luckily, I remembered that sometimes one of the back doors doesn't lock properly, and that was the case this time too. So I was able to continue my journey to Queenstown with my spare key. So, I've made it to Queenstown. This is New Zealand's adventure capital, or maybe even one of the adventure capitals in the world. You can do so many outdoor sports things here. You can do bungee, skydive, wherever. They have like these little rocket boats that go over the lake. You can do everything in Queenstown, and also it's like the party town of New Zealand. So you will hear people all night long. They're drinking, they're having fun. And it's just a great place to stay. And I'll be doing like a little walk today because there's 2 Lord of the Rings filming locations that I really wanted to check out at the 12-mile delta it's called. And yeah, it's an easy walk, there's not too much altitude. Legs are still sore from the last 2 hikes from the Mueller Hut and the Royce Peak. That was just too much for my chicken legs, so I feel like I shouldn't have skimmed leg day all my life really. But yeah, let's just head up that lake and see the Lord of the Rings locations. Super excited about it. The 11 kilometers to 12-mile delta dragged on like chewing gum, and halfway there I realized that I was once again demanding a lot from my legs instead of preparing them for the upcoming hike to the top of Ben Lomond, one of the highest mountains in the Queenstown region. So I'm an hour away from Queenstown, and apparently this hill or somewhere around the area was used for one of the scenes that they had in the first film in the Fellowship of the Rings, and it's actually the last fight just before the movie ends, where the Fellowship of the Ring is falling apart. On the map they said that the exact location isn't known, and I don't know either. Like, I don't recognize any of it. Like, it seems to be that forest. Yeah, I don't know. I just keep on going, try to find the next location. But yeah, it's nice to know that apparently somewhere here they had filmed it. So yeah, I think it's still like 45 minutes or so to go. It's actually quite a long walk. But then you can decide whether you want to just follow the street, which is less nice, or you do what I'm on now, which is like a multi-use track for mountain bikers and for hikers. Yeah, and I'm doing that one. It takes longer, but it's nicer.
Hi. Oh, this is it. This seems to be the lookup point from where Frodo and Sam in Smeagol or Gollum are checking out the Oliphants that are walking just right down there. And then also down there, somewhere at the riverbanks, there is that scene where Sam tries to teach Gollum about how to really cook a rabbit stew and what potatoes are, or taters.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
but I couldn't find a spot yet. So I need to do some more research and then probably find the place down there.
As I wasn't able to find the exact location, at some point I just went back to Queenstown to get some rest, as I had big plans for the upcoming day. Getting up Ben Lomond, you can decide whether you want to take the gondola up to the Sky Station or you walk it all by yourself, starting off with the Tiki Trail.
So this is my first break. I'm probably up halfway on the Tiki Trail, I'm not sure, but this is the first time that you actually get to see how far you're up where there's no trees. I think this is because of the gondola and some work that they do here. And I think this is some good 400 or 500 meters, so probably I have done more than a half. Let's catch a little breath and then go up all the way to the Skyline Gondola. So I've made it to, I think, what is the Sky Station of the gondola. I'm not sure. Coming up here, however, it is quite busy, so they do a lot of construction work around here. You come out of the forest and you're greeted with like hammers and saws and just like all the construction noises. Yeah, so I think I just have a little break and then go up to just have some more silence and nature again.
On my way up, the visibility was less than ideal, but the mist brought a different kind of beauty, and also something else that I enjoyed: silence.
So, 1 hour still to go, supposedly to the summit. The cool thing about it is now, since I started before the gondola people came up, you have to check mostly to yourself. However, there were some people passing me on the way down, and 2 were actually running. I was like, what the fuck? Like, if you ran up here, then you must be proper fit. But we're about to get to the actual ridge, where you just walk up the ridge, and supposedly you have like the best views from up there. So yeah, keen on getting there.
I asked for views, and oh boy, walking along the ridgeline, Ben Lomond delivered. At least for a little bit. Reaching the summit after a bone-crushing last bit of hiking, everything I was able to see was white. Eventually it cleared up a bit, and me and Danielle, a girl from London who I shared a hostel room with and who would become my first short-term travel buddy over the next days, were able to enjoy the breathtaking scenery before making our way down. The next day I took it easy. I strolled around Queenstown for a while before heading up the lake to Glenorchy, where Danielle and I were going to check out yet another Lord of the Rings location. On the way I wished a few times I had bought an off-roader instead of a little camper van, which wasn't quite ready for driving through massive puddles.
Like, I'm unsure how deep it is. Yeah, I think we have to kind of... Oh shit.
Great. You made it.
Yeah, it was like, if we get stuck here, it's a problem. An hour away from Queenstown, apparently I found myself a camera woman, which is great. And we are at the Isengard viewpoint. So this is one of the Lord of the Rings movie locations, and this is where they filmed Isengard, or at least this is like the background for Isengard. And the Tower of Isengard they put in digitally. And then also, we suppose it's the mountain up there that is like kind of, that has like that coney shape. That is also one of the movie locations where they filmed the crossover on the Pass of Caradhras, that they can't go, like the Fellowship of the Rings, and then they go through the mines of Moria. And yeah, it's just a great place, and there's like no one here, and awesome, just standing here. I like this. This is really nice.
We finished our little adventure with a last really nice night out in Queenstown, and in my head I was already excited for the rugged beauty that was awaiting me, the New Zealand West Coast.
It feels like I'm in a completely different country to where I left off yesterday in Queenstown. I'm getting thrown out of a plane because I booked a skydive. So this is it. This is the ballroom overhang, and it's in fact huge.